Hello everyone, and Happy New Year, and welcome back to the Stellaris modding tutorial series. And today we're going to take a slight detour, and we're going to talk about localization. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a localization file, some of the cool things you can do with localization, and how to modify and how you can change text using the events. I'll show you what all that means right now. Here we are in the top folders for both the Stellaris game files and for our mod. And something that needs to be said right off the bat is that Stellaris uses a different file type for localization keys. Where in like the common folder and events folder, most of those folders are going to be .txt files, which are just the plain basic files. You can right click, new, text document, and just name it whatever. But localization keys are a little bit different. And I'm not going to be able to do the best job explaining, but they have a different file type, which is a .yml. And they seem to have a different type of encoding. So our basic files use UTF-8 encoding, and the localization keys use UTF-8 with BOM. I don't know the technicalities behind it. I guess it just helps the computer read the file a little bit differently. I'm not a computer expert on that. But nonetheless, we need to create a file so that way we can put our texts in. So just to give an example, there's a couple ways you could do it. You could go in, you could change the file name, you could change the extension, but I find that to be a bit tedious. When in reality, this is the quick and dirty way that I do it all the time. So I go to the Stellaris game file, click on localization, English, copy this, go into my mod folder, localization, English, paste it. I'll rename it to, let's just call it test. And I think all folders have to have an L, whatever you name it, it's _L_ English. And then we can open it up in VS Code and just clear out everything but the first line, and there you go, it's all set up. Like I said, you could go in, change the file extension, change around the encoding, but if this works, why change it? So I think in a few tutorials I've created localization file keys, but you guys should pretty much know how to do this, but just in case you don't. So localization keys are just like little tags that allow the game to say like, oh, this is the line of text that goes here. But you can compare it across different languages. So let's say I have English, German, or Spanish. Those are options in the game. If I change to Spanish, I don't have to hard code in a Spanish translation or a German translation. I can just write it in a file, use the same localization key, and that will just tell the game will just decide, oh, we need to go to the Spanish folder for this one, or we need to go to the English folder. So what you can do is you can take this, whatever's in parentheses, copy, and then just put it in the file. Then you will do a semicolon, 0, and parentheses. And then this text says whatever you want it to. I also have an add-on. I believe it's this paradox syntax that creates these little alerts that tells me what localization keys haven't been made yet. So if I double click on it, then click this, I can just generate all of these. Oh, there's something I haven't changed out. I can copy all these into my localization key. So how cool is that? So we've done single text for descriptors, but what if you want to change things around? Like, say you want a different text for a machine empire or a hive empire. Well, we got you here. So instead of just putting a text in, you can do desk equals, and then just open curly bracket, text, and then you can put in. What I like to do is I like to use the same descriptor, but .a, .b, .c, or .d, and then whatever the trigger is. So remember, a trigger is just sort of like a true or false statement. If everything within the trigger is true, it will use this text. So I have three different options here, and when we change up the localization file, we'll see them in the event as I use different empires. So if you wanted to like put a paragraph break or hit the put a tab in your text or put in quotations, well, that doesn't exactly work because the game, when it reads the file, it doesn't really take into account tabs. It doesn't really take into account hitting the enter key, and the quotations are used to open and close the key. So we have to use some commands, and these ones are just really simple. Um, so the backslash with in will operate as if you hit an enter key. So think in for new line. So when we show this in game, it'll be, this is a hive empire. Enter. How cool is that? For tabs, this is a machine empire. Tab, nice, and there'll be a space. And for a normal empire, this is a normal, quotation marks, empire. And that is all the basics of localization modding. I'm planning to do maybe a second part and even a third part if these are popular enough. I know that this is kind of a niche topic, but hopefully you enjoy. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.